Good anytime, my Puzzleites, and welcome back to Pikmin 3. Good anytime, my Puzzleites, and welcome back to a quick review of Pikmin. Welcome to a quick review of Pikmin 3 Deluxe. As usual for these quick reviews, I marked them 1 to 5. 0, 1 being whatever it was trying to accomplish. I just felt it was off. It didn't really connect with me. It just felt like it could be better. And 5 being that it knocked 3 being that it was just mediocre. It just barely got where it was going. And 5 being that it knocked it out of the park. It was a really well done in all effects, and I had no complaints whatsoever, and it even went above and beyond my own thoughts and feelings. So, first up, we are going to focus on the story. So, the story of Pikmin 3 is a simple one. 3 adventurers, so the main characters, Alpha, Brittany, and Charlie's planet is dying of starvation, or close to it. So they send probes out to find a planet with suitable food. They find it in PNF 404, and Alpha, Brittany, and Charlie set off to find food, which happens to be fruit. So the game basically goes that you're on the island, you lose your device, your cosmic drive key, which helps you get home. So you have to look for that while getting food. You find what you think is Olimar. It's not Olimar, it's Louie. Louie steals your stuff and opens up a new path in the first area. You track him down again. You find out where Olimar truly is. And then you save him from the horrible fate that befell him. That is the main story. There's a side story where you see Olimar and Louie just collecting stuff from the main world's areas, but they are more confined with areas you cannot go to, as you do kind of challenges. And then there's also another side story, the assignment, where the president sends Olimar and Louie back to PNF 404 in order to find the rest of the ship parts that they left behind. And there's just more challenges, more things going on there. Overall, for the story, it's what it needs to be. It's fun. I enjoy it. It doesn't need to be much. I'm gonna give it a 5 because the interaction between the main team and Louie and Olimar is fun. I enjoy Olimar being this mystery person that the people know about. They know he has the key and have to track him down. So while trying to introduce more characters who are nice into the franchise, and I'll talk more about their own personalities and characters and whatnot, it's overall a fun story with with fun characters, interesting things going on and whatnot. It's overall a short one, but still good. 5 out of 5 for story. It really got me going. Next up, we are going to go to characters. In the game, there are about 6 characters. You have Elf, who is more of the sciencey scientist on the Copiite ship. He mainly does all the recordings, he upgrades the ship and all that. You then have Brittany. She is more food-orientated and whatnot, but still wants the well-being of her shipmates to be good. And then you have Charlie, who is the captain, Captain Charlie, CC, who is very full of himself, really wants adventure, and is very strong and let's do this type of personality. Besides that, you have Olimar, who is still his old exploratory researching self, who is now is very fascinated and a little too obsessed with finding gold to save the company that the president apparently once again brought to bankruptcy after Pikmin 2. Louie, who is a food addict who really wants food and will literally let people starve just to get his own food. So he's very selfish and whatnot. And Olimar, although doesn't overly like Louie, knows he doesn't really have a choice. And then there's the president, who is kind of dim-witted but tries to mean well, who sends Olimar and Louie off on dangerous quests to get this stuff back because they can't afford to replace it. So overall, for characters, they're very nice. Again, they're very nice. They fit the mold and whatnot, and what has to happen. They progress the story. They give you little timbits like I love. I've said it before. The little end of day notes where either they're talking about if you found something, they'll talk about it. So like bombs, they'll talk about. If you lose Pikmin, they'll talk about the loss. They'll talk about what they need to go next, how the day went. Just different stuff that makes it more flavorful and interesting. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 for characters as well, because they are well developed, they are very neat, and they add to it, so it's not just go out, find fruit, bring it back, go out, find fruit, bring it back, beat the enemies, and so on and so forth. Overall, like I said, 5 out of 5 for enemies. Very good. And then we have the scenery, which, like usual, we have 4 or 5 areas. This time it's 4, being Garden of Hope, Tundra, Dry Tundra? What are all the... Anyways. What are... Pardon me. Pikmin 3 areas. Tropical Wilds, Garden of Hope, Distant Tundra, Twilight River, Forbidden Oak. So, Tropical Wilds is more... What did it look like? I just played this. Is that tropical? No. Oh, Tropical Tundra is more of a water-based area with some vegetation. Garden of Hope is more of whatever. I guess more rocks, some water to go around. No. Distant Tundra is a snowy plain area. Twilight River is a nice fall setting with a creek that you can get on lily pads to move around. And Forbidden Oak is just an oak tree or something, sometimes a tree that had been cut down, leaving just the stump that you go through. Overall, all 5 areas are distinct from each other. They all look very nice. They have their own challenges going through and whatnot, so you need all the Pikmin to do everything all the time. And overall, it's going to be another 5 out of 5 because they're just really well done areas with very confined, but they give you a nice feel. They all look different. If I got a picture of all the areas, I would see where they need to go. They're nice because how they're set up, you usually need at least to use every type of Pikmin to at least do something at least once or twice. Some more than others, of course. But overall, for the areas, they're very nice. They're very beautiful, full of life and enemies. The enemies are all different as well. And overall, like I said, 5 out of 5, good stuff. For game mechanics, like the usual, if you played Pikmin 1 and 2, you can pluck Pikmin, throw the Pikmin. There are different types of Pikmin. The red Pikmin, which can resist fire and hit harder, are back. The yellow Pikmin, which can be thrown higher and not be hurt by electricity, come back as well, joining them, is the blue guild Pikmin, who can go in water. There's also the white Pikmin that can dig better and move faster, as well as the purple Pikmin, who can carry stuff better, but he doesn't have the stun in this one anymore. But yellow, or white, the white Pikmin and purple Pikmin are only available in some challenge mode maps. New to this game, though, is the rock Pikmin, which are just rocks, which can be thrown to do heavy rock damage, as well as they can break crystal or glass or whatever it is. You also have flying Pikmin, who fly around. They don't hit as hard, they're the weakest of all the Pikmin, but because they can fly, they can move over a lot of terrain, making them a good choice to use to get to get over things faster to get to your base, or whatever you need to do if you need to build or anything. So for the moveset themselves, you can do the same thing as a lot of the other Pikmin. You pluck Pikmin, you throw Pikmin. This one gives you a lock-on mechanism, so if you're going against a beast, you can lock onto them. Which some beasts have sore spots that if you hit, they'll get a little, what is it? Stun locked and do a little movement until they're better, which can help you not die. Other than that, there's also a charge mechanic now, thank goodness, where you can send all your Pikmin of one type that you have selected out towards whatever. You can press it multiple times to send all of them. And this one also introduced the grand mechanic of being able to select places on your map to send whoever's in control to an area. So if you had to go to the other side of the map to do something, I could send Charles from where we are to the other side of the map as me and Elf and Brittany did our own thing in another area. So it gives you a lot of variety to divide and conquer. If your people are by Pikmin who are in the ground, they will automatically pick them up, which I like. And yeah. So overall, same Pikmin style, they just made it a lot easier. Gone are the caves. Now you have challenge mode, which is still very fun, and challenging just like the rest. But overall, for mechanics, it's another 5 out of 5. It just knocked it out of the park. It can be kind of annoying using the lock-on mechanic, but you don't need to use the lock-on mechanic if you don't need to. Because sometimes I'll try and be locking on to a certain enemy, and it'll go off to something else close by instead, which I don't like. But hopefully in 4 they fix that. But the charge mechanic is a welcome sign. Also, another thing in this game, before there was bridges to be built. They were wooden bridges that you kind of put your Pikmin on to slowly build. Now, the bridges are in pieces, and you bring the pieces to the bridge, or other things, to build it up in that area, rather than just push it out. There are also hay things to make hay things go up. Bombs are back to be actually held and thrown and whatnot. There are walls to break in this one, like 1 did. Overall, just a very, very solid game. And now going on to Legacy, as this is the 3rd Pikmin game. How does it stack up? I gotta say, it stacks up very well. It took everything that was good in the second one, where your Pikmin wouldn't kill themselves going over a bridge. It added in the lock-on mechanic, which is very helpful, because it's sometimes hard to see where you're exactly shooting or throwing your Pikmin into. I've had cases where I think I'm throwing them at an enemy, but I'm not. And also, just the charge mechanic is very nice. They got rid of the caves, which I thought were very fun, but just very time-consuming and just not overly good. I'm glad they got rid of it. Because, like I said, as fun as the caves are, they can just be a real burden. Especially if you lose a lot of Pikmin halfway through. You have to restart the whole cave, so you have to find an exit, get out, yada yada yada. Whereas the challenge modes gives you that fix of having to plan things out, as well as there being a time limit. And just, overall, some good changes. Just, overall, like I said, a 5 out of 5 game. The story was good, really good. I like how they introduced the new characters who are nice and fun. Olimar and Louie and the President are still there. They're just doing their own thing, so they're more side characters. Stories, scenery, the characters, you have at least 6 characters, all of them very unique in what they want to accomplish, are doing, and etc, etc. Very fun, very nuanced, and just they're their own person. No one's personalities overlapped, and they're all needed for the mission. Especially the 3 Kobai work really well together, personality-wise, so it's a lot of fun. The settings are nice. They always do a really good job at making them tough, and you have to strategize how to get around well, but very fair in the end. So, again, 5 out of 5 for that. And the mechanics really brought everything good with Pikmin 2 and just made it better. I do think it's a little too easy, but with the action sometimes, but there is the ultra spicy mode that I still need to do, so hopefully that will make me have pain. but we shall see. But either way, that's it for the quick review. Overall, a 5 out of 5 game. It's really fun. It's really interesting. I love the side missions that give you a little more story about what's going on. I love the challenge modes and whatnot, which have a time limit in a set area. And they are just, you have to really strategize on what to do and when to really get there. And the bingo battle, though I only played by myself, it was fun as well. I hope to get someone else in here so that they can join me in playing this at some point, but we will still see. But overall, Pikmin 3 is completely done until I come back for Ultra Spicy mode. Yay! So I will leave this here, but thank you, my fuzzy guys, for watching, and I'll see you next anytime. Take care.